What's up, guys? It's the trucking guy coming at you again. I'm going to make this video about broker credit, brokerage credit. Why would you check credit? What is credit? Why do you need to check it? What's the purpose of it, right? So let's get right into it, okay? A broker is someone that you book a load with, whether it be off a load board, whether it be through a relationship that you know. And it's not necessarily broker credit as well. Some manufacturing facilities have credit, especially if they're a major manufacturing facility. Maybe they even have an in-house brokerage or an in-house shipping department that sends things out, and they have the MC number that you can check to see that they have credit, okay? Just like me and you have a credit score, these companies and these brokerages have a credit score. Now, why would you need to check credit, guys? The same way you would need to check credit on an individual to see if you can get approved for a vehicle or a credit card, we want to make sure they're gonna pay us, okay? We wanna make sure that they're someone who actually pays their bills. We wanna make sure that they're someone that's responsible. And within that credit checking portal, we can check things like net days to pay, okay? So if you have a factoring company, or if you don't wanna wait more than 30 days, why would you haul for a company that pays at 90 days or 60 days or 72 days, okay? You'd wanna haul for companies that pay around 30 days, right? Because that's as far as you wanna wait to get paid. Or your factoring company may have chargebacks at 60 days or 90 days. If you don't know what a factoring company is, it's a company that will buy your invoices and advance you money on the loads as you deliver them, so you don't have to wait 30, 60, 90, 120 days to get paid. They'll pay you right away for a small fee, where usually about 3%. But there's another video you can check here about factoring companies, okay? But anyway, so credit. You want to work for companies that have a good credit, okay? You don't want to have a lot of loads that they haven't paid. You don't want to have companies that pay at 120 days, because if you have the chargeback situation, or if you're actually waiting, why would you want to wait 4 months to get $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 load, okay? You do that 3 or 4 times, you can see how you're waiting on $10,000, $15,000. Now, even if you had $100,000 in the bank or $200,000 and you were able to keep this revolving cushion going around, why would you want to work just to be waiting for money? Work and waiting, work and waiting, work and waiting. My dad always said, it's not realized profit till it's in the bank. It's not collected, and it's not money that you have or money that you have coming if it's owed. It has to be in the bank to be considered profit or realized. And that's just the way it is, guys. You need cash flow. You need money in your business. You can't wait 120 days. So or if you have a factoring company and you're waiting that long, it's not going to be good for business. The cash flow is going to be very difficult. Most businesses like that don't last very long. Even if it may be a year, 2 years, they're going to go out of business because they just don't have the cash in the bank to sustain problems or things that come up that are unforeseen. So checking credit up front, there's several ways to do it. Obviously, if you're set up with Dun & Bradstreet, you can have a portal through there. But if you have a factoring company, okay, another benefit and reason why you would want one is to check credit, okay? So it's very easy. You take their MC number, you go to the portal, you put it in, bam, it'll give you everything as far as their net days to pay, good or bad, if the factoring company will buy their invoices or not. So if the factoring company says, no, we won't work with them, you can still haul the load if you wanted to, if you're with a factoring company that will allow you to do that and do a COD load or cash on delivery or credit card, or even if you can work getting paid up front on the load and then go haul the load, you know, we do that sometimes. It's something that comes up that you may have to deal with, okay? You know, there's plenty of companies out there that, you know, maybe they are new and they don't, it's not necessarily that they have bad credit, but they have no credit. They just don't have enough credit and they're new. So you can take a risk and haul for that company and probably get paid. It'll probably be okay. They're just, you know, now getting established and they are trying to build their credit. So how do they build credit? They work with carriers like us or trucking companies like us to haul their freight and do a good job to get paid. That's on a broker situation. You take their MC right off of the load board, you throw it into the portal with your factoring company, and you're able to check credit that way, okay? Another thing you might have to check credit on is a manufacturing facility, okay? Excuse me. Maybe it is a direct client or a direct customer, or maybe your brother works in the shipping department at the pipe yard right down the street from your house or something, right? And you want to factor those loads. So if they have an MC number, or if they don't, you can put their information in. Some portals and factoring companies allow you to do this. You can put their information in, their address, and they'll pull credit based on their Dun & Bradstreet number, right? Which is basically just like when they pull our social for credit to get a credit card. Because that business has an entity that has basically the Dun & Brad is like a social security number to that business that they can pull credit on. It doesn't negatively affect it like it does us with the hard inquiries, I don't believe. So they can pull credit based on that, and they can tell you whether they've bought for that business before, the factoring company's worked with them before, or if they have good credit. And if they do, then if they're not set up in their system and they've never worked with them before, the factoring company can set them up in the system and say, okay, they have good credit. But maybe they don't know their net days to pay because they're not in necessarily a brokerage portal or an MC portal and they haven't worked with them before, but they can take that chance and work with them and then accumulate data later on their days to pay. And if somebody else goes and works for them, when they pull it up, they'll know their days to pay, which could be at 30 days, 60 days, 15 days. There's, different companies pay at different cycles. They pay their bills differently based on the way that they, receive their profits and realized for paid for jobs. But anyway, so that's very important, guys, is check credit. That's why you need to check it, is so you don't get burned and haul a load that they had bad credit. You didn't know it, you didn't check it, and you're never getting paid. Maybe it wasn't even a real company. Maybe it was some guy in Hawaii that's sitting behind a computer and it was a false MC and he booked it and he got paid from the manufacturer or the facility that actually had the product and sent it to the shipper, but had no intention of paying you. These scams run all the time, guys, where they do millions of dollars in scams. They never pay the trucking companies. They close that one and open up another one, and that kind of thing happens. So how do you not have that happen to you? Is you check their credit. So if their credit comes back good, obviously they're a legitimized company. You have data on them on when they pay, how they pay, and so on. So credit's very important to check. Having a way to check credit is very important, so that even if you weren't going to use a factoring company, you might sign up with a factoring company that'll allow you to factor with them and not factor with them based on your own decision, and not be set in stone that you have to factor everything through them. So then you could just purely use it for a credit portal or on those jobs that maybe are going to pay 90 days, and you don't want to wait that long. You could factor that load, and then other loads you could keep in-house or take credit cards or checks or cash or whatever. So, that's just my 2 cents, guys, trucking guy, on why you need credit, why you need to check credit, why you need a portal to check credit, and what you need to check it for. Okay, so checking credit is on brokerages, manufacturing facilities, or anybody that you're going to haul for. On the loads that are going to come up here and there that you don't have a way to check credit, they're not a manufacturing facility. Maybe it's a car, okay, and you're hauling for an individual that had a friend that can post it on the load board. So he posts it out, and he's a new broker, he doesn't have credit, and he's like, oh, it's really for my uncle, it's not even through my company or something. Well, on that load, you're gonna wanna get paid up front, or it can be a COD, and I say not check on delivery, cash on delivery, because the check could bounce and you don't know this individual and you may never see them again, and they're 1,000 miles away and you're never gonna get paid for this load. And it could be as simple as $300 to $1,000, whatever. This happens a lot in the car world. So for you car transporters, this is something you need to watch out for. Try to get paid before you unload the vehicle. Have them sign off on it, good, no damage, in good condition, okay? Get paid in cash at Venmo, or a credit or debit card. Or not debit card, credit card. Let me tell you why. On the credit card, you guys might think, well, they can go cancel the credit card and you never get paid for it. It is possible, but most of the time, if the credit card processing companies already debited the card and they have that money in limbo in their processing or in their holdings, you can submit if they've declined it and say this is a fraudulent charge, you can submit information, because they're going to say, hey, is this fraudulent? You charge this card. You can submit documentation saying, no, it was not fraudulent. The load was delivered correctly and on time. Here's my contract, because you have a rate confirmation up front, obviously coming from that broker, customer, shipper. Or if you don't, and it's for a friend of yours, you need to send them a contract and have them sign that this is how much, this is what the commodity is, where is it picking up, and where is it going. So if they've signed off on that up front, okay, then you could go pick it up, haul a load when you get there, and take a credit card up front, get paid up front. Or you can, when you get there, right before you unload it, I always say before it's unloaded, get paid. You can get paid via credit card. Now, say they go cancel that credit card, you can submit your contract, your documentation, and then it goes into a dispute situation, and they have basically like an underwriter that would look at it and say, okay, well, he has a contract saying that it was this, he charged the card for this, so it was not fraudulent, and the load was delivered and you signed off on it that was in good condition and no issues. So they're not, and I've had this situation happen one time in our years of business, and we were able to get the money and it was not a problem. But it was submitted like that just because they were a dirtbag and didn't want to pay. But and they tried to get their money back, But anyway, we got paid for that load. We had to go through the dispute process. That can happen. And you just don't want to have that happen. So the way you eliminate that problem is by checking credit, having a contract, and always getting paid either through Venmo, Cash App. Cash is always king on those loads. Just get cash, $100 bills, and you know, that's pretty much the best way on those weird iffy loads. And then also, I guess you could do a credit or debit card if you have a portal to take it. So it's a processing company. You can use Square. You can use many different ones. Intuit, QuickBooks. You know, there's processing companies that are all over the internet, so you can find one. And they'll charge 2%, 1.5 swiped or something. I don't know. Anyway, so those are your options. That's why you want to check credit. That's the reasons to check credit, and that's the type of situations that you're going to come into that you need to check credit. So, Trucking Guy signing off. Hopefully this helped you guys, or hopefully it's going to help you guys in the future to, you know, think that credit is important, why you need to check it, why you need to be with a factoring company to have a portal to check it. And if you can do all of that, you guys will be successful. Have a great day.